Hi, David. How are you? Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
That's great. All right. Well, let's please continue. And remember that yesterday we started the writing part, writing a letter. And well, we're going to continue with the next thing. Next is the review on introduction to topic sentence. Now we are going to start reviewing on how to write a formal essay. So first, very important to know how to identify and how to write a topic sentence. And for this, we have to follow some steps. And let's please begin. When you write a formal essay in English, you need to follow some rules. First, you need to start your essay with a good topic sentence. A topic sentence introduces the paragraph and it tells the reader what your essay will be about. Most importantly, your topic sentence should be interesting. And if your topic sentence is not interesting, the reader will not want to read your essay. So, very important topic sentence. Here are some topic sentences written for essays about students' grandfathers. Let's please read these topic sentences, these examples. Could you please read the first one?
My grandfather had more, had more stories than a children's library.
Thank you. The next one.
Sorry, there was a truck just passing around here.
No
Of all
worries.
the people I have ever met, no one has impressed me as much as my grandfather.
Correct.
When I see an old man walking down the street, I often think to myself, I hope his life was as interesting as my grandfather's life. When I was a child, I thought my grandfather was Superman. I have always looked forward to seeing my grandfather.
Very good. So these are just some examples on some topic sentences, okay, about student's grandfather. This was the main idea for the essay. And well, let's please move forward. So the topic sentences above are all interesting and they make the reader want to keep reading. However, the topic sentences below are too boring. And let's please read these boring topic sentences.
My grandfather is a nice man. I love my grandfather. My grandfather makes me very happy.
Correct. So as you can see, in comparison to the other ones, the previous ones, these ones are much simpler, and not because it's simplicity, but because of the content of it. For example, my grandfather is a nice man. Okay, like everyone's grandfathers are nice men, right? So you have to give us more information so we can like really want to read your essay, like here, for example. Of all the people I have ever met, no one has impressed me as much as my grandfather. So I would like to know what impressed this little child. So I'm going to read his essay because I really want to know why he's impressed by his grandfather, what he did, right? Whereas this one's is like their topics are too general, right? The topic sentences are too general. So now that we read about interesting and boring topic sentences, let's please go on to the activity. So below are topic sentences written by students about their pets. Read the sentences and write I if the sentence is interesting and V if the sentence is boring. All right, please. From these 6 statements, topic sentences that you have, Classify them into either boring or interesting. And well, you can type your answer.
Okay, but all of these answers will be my opinion.
Sorry?
Okay, but all of these answers will be just my opinion.
Yeah, yes, yes. And your opinion according to what we have read, right? Remember that a topic sentence must be interesting.
Okay, here it is.
Very good. So could you please read on the sentence and then classify them either in boring or interesting?
My pet bird brings wonderful music to my life. I like cats, and my pet cat is a very good cat. Although my pet cat sleeps all day long, I'm always glad that she's in my house. My pet dog has eaten my homework, destroyed my shoes, and beaten my friend, but I still can never get angry at her. My dog is so cute, and everyone likes him. After having a pet rabbit for 1 year, I can understand why most people don't want to have these animals as pets.
All right, interesting. So yes, I have to agree with you. This one is very general. It doesn't give us any specific information for us to want to read what is it about. This one also, because we know that most of the cats sleep all day. So I think it's not interesting at all. And this one, all dogs are cute, I think. So very general as well. So yes, the first one, the fourth one, and the sixth are interesting. Good. Let's please go on to the next part. Now that we know what is a topic sentence, we are going to talk about analogies. Analogies are split up into groups, similes and metaphors, and this is something that we are going to review now. What is their difference specifically? So similes. When you write a topic sentence, you can often use analogies to make it more interesting. An analogy is when you say one thing is something else. For example, my father is a bear in the morning. Your father is not really a bear. So this is an analogy. My sister is like an angel in my life. We know that your sister is not really an angel. So this is an analogy. But as you can read these statements and these examples, the purpose on analogies are basically to give an extra to the topic sentence. So interest to the topic sentence. Okay. So my interest is here. I would like to know why you compare your father with a bear, right? In a positive or in a negative way, because there are two. So that tells the reader, um, you know, wanting him or her to read on your essay to understand your analogy, because you're going to describe your analogy on the essay. Therefore, I would really like to know what is it about. So in topic sentences, we use analogies here. Now we are going to see the difference on analogies and metaphors. There are two kinds of analogies that we often use, similes and metaphors. Semiles use the words like or as. And metaphors do not use the verb like or the word like or as. Here, examples of semiles. My sister is like an angel in my life. Like. My bedroom is like a box of silence in a noisy world. My father is angry as a bear when he wakes up. Right? We are comparing. And here, metaphors. We don't use like, okay, or the pattern as. And here, my father is a bear in the morning. This food is trash. My grandfather is Superman. My teacher is the devil. So this is the difference. And this is what you have to remember, okay? So analogies are split in two categories, basically, similes and metaphors. And this is the difference between both of them. And this is what you have to remember. This is the important part. All right? So is there any doubts or questions that you may have about this?
No.
Great. Let's please move on to the exercises and activities. Read these analogies and write S if it's a simile or M if it's a metaphor. All right? Type in, please, and read carefully. If you want me to go back to the previous slide, I can just go, okay? For you to
No, I
remember.
think it's very clear.
Oh, okay, perfect. Then, please, classify this. All right. Now let's read the statements and you're going to tell me simile or metaphor, okay? Go ahead, please.
Okay. My life is a dream. A metaphor.
Mhm.
Math is like a puzzle that never ends. A simile. My mother is an angel, always watching over me. Metaphor. Love is a flower that grows and becomes more and more beautiful. Metaphor. My This city is a sea of sadness. Metaphor. The ocean waves hit the beach like 1,000 hammers. Simile. Um, my life, no, my wife is the light of in my life. Metaphor. Watch out for John. He is a sneaky snake. Metaphor. When my brother fell, he howled like a wolf. Simile.
Very good. Excellent. So Do you have any doubts or questions about this?
No.
Amazing. All right, let's please move forward. All right, so topic sentence. Still, we are reviewing topic sentences, analogies, similes, and metaphors. So, something very important and to take count whenever you are writing in your topic sentence is you have to try to think of a different and interesting to say what you want to say. An interesting way, right, in which you're going to express what you meant. Examples. This city is beautiful. What are some things that are beautiful? The city is a paradise. Sounds better, no? Way of changing this word beautiful. This city is like a garden of beauty. The city is a colorful painting. My father is very smart. How can you describe him as smart? Using other words? Well, my father is like a wise old wizard. My father is a walking encyclopedia. My father is a human university. So as you see here, we start writing a regular sentence and then we try to change the content because this will be your topic sentence and then you will start from this. You will start from this. And your entire essay is going to be describing and explaining why of your topic sentence. Basically, each paragraph that you start in an essay has a topic sentence. So this is why it is very important to write a great topic sentence. And the first one must be the best of all the essay. Let's please move on. Read these sentences and try to rewrite them using a simile or metaphor, as we saw here. All right. Doubts or questions about this?
Okay, now questions.
Very good. So you know that you can build, you can create your own similes or metaphors, right?
Sure.
Example. John's girlfriend is very cute. How can you change this using a simile or metaphor? Please read these statements and rewrite them using a simile or metaphor. Thank you.
Okay, got it.
Great. Let's please read the statement. So I will read the statement and you will read how you rewrite it, okay, using a simile or metaphor. So the first one, John's girlfriend is very cute.
John's girlfriend is like a rose.
Mikey runs so slowly.
Mikey is a turtle when running.
When I got off work, I was really tired.
When I got off work, I was tired like an old man.
Okay. Anger is a bad thing that can take over your life.
Anger is a bomb that can destroy your whole life.
Great. My house is a nice place where I can relax.
My house is my own fortress of solitude.
The internet is something that lets you find a lot of information.
The internet is like an infinite ocean of information.
Amazing. Great job. I can't wait for read your topic sentence and your essay. This one
Oh,
sounds like
thank
it's
you.
going to be very interesting.
Do you know
All
what the
right.
fortress of solitude is?
No, I don't.
It's the place where Superman goes for communicating with his father.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that the like the capsule in which he goes, like in the movie, or you read it on the comic or the book or a book?
I saw that in a movie. It's
Okay.
like a nice castle.
All right. Well, that's very interesting. So let's please move forward. Okay. So now we have a conversation practice about goals, your goal. So please tell me, David, what is your current short-term goal?
My current short-term goal is to approve my English exam tomorrow.
You have an English exam tomorrow?
That's right.
Where where you work?
No, it's because I'm applying to a scholarship.
Oh, okay, I see. I see. All right. And what is your midterm goal?
Oh, my midterm goal is to study a master's degree or maybe a PhD.
All right. And your long-term goal?
And my long-term goal is um, to find a girl and marry her.
Okay, all right. Well, that's very interesting. And well, when did you start thinking about this goal, like your short-term goal?
Well, I have always thought about becoming an expert in my field, and even since I was a child,
Okay, since you were a child, like how old?
like 10 or 11 years old.
Oh, okay, so very, very young. And your midterm goal?
My midterm goal, um, sorry, are we the 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 last question was about my long-term goal or about my short-term goal?
No, the last question was about your short-term goal.
I'm sorry, I got confused. My I have thought about my short-term goal since last year because I applied to that scholarship last year too, but I didn't approve. Uh, but I have thought about my my midterm goal ever since I was a child. Even
Okay, you're right.
because I'm a very studious person.
All right. And what about your long-term goal?
Mm, about my long-term goal since I was a teenager, like 18 years old.
Okay. All right. So it's not something recent that you just start thinking about.
Now, I
Okay, all right.
think my what I have always wanted is to have a perfect work and personal life balance.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, and indeed that's what everyone would like to have, right?
Yes.
Personal balance, and that also will help you to grow professionally because, to have everything set up and everything clear with your life, it's amazing. And also that's the support for you to achieve new goals. As long as you feel happy, relaxed, and comfort in a comfort place in which you can, grow, develop as a person. All right. And well, what difficulties do you have in order to achieve it? Let's talk about your short-term goal first.
There's a lot of competition. That's right, because many students are applying to the same scholarship that I am applying to. And even if I can't achieve the Japanese scholarship, I would be okay with that, as long as I can move to a different country to continue my studies. But money is a really important factor.
Mhm. It is. With money, you can do a lot of things, of course, besides, being rich, of course. All right, okay. And what about your midterm goal?
And about my midterm goal, um, yeah, I think those are the same difficulties, especially
Okay.
money and finding a good job is a difficulty because it should be a well paid enough, well, yeah, a well, an enoughly well paid job. Is that correct? Is that correct? Sorry.
Yes, it is. Okay, all right.
An enoughly well paid job to continue to allow me to pay for my studies and with enough free time for doing my homework.
Of course. And what about your long-term goal?
Um, okay. As I told you before, my long term goal is to find a girl and get married. But I
Mhm.
think women my age are starting to get married, and it is difficult for me
Mhm.
because the more time, the more time, entre más tiempo pasa,
The longer time I wait or passes by,
yeah, the longer time, the, the
passes
longer
by.
time passes by, it is more difficult to find someone to get married. I think if I move to another country, it would be more, it would be easier for me to find find someone to marry because um, women in other cultures think about becoming professionals before getting married.
Mhm.
Um, there is something I like to ask. You have visited other countries with different cultures. Do you think is that correct?
I do. And nowadays, the way on how people think, it's quite different from like even our older cousins or fathers, of course, because nowadays around the globe, people want to be prepared, not only physically prepared, also intellectually prepared. And nowadays we know that it is not um, as easy as it was before, because nowadays there is a balance in between men and women about jobs, personal growth, personal, success and achievements. So therefore, I think people are not, they don't have the thought, well, especially with the interns that I work with, most of them told me whenever we had a conversation about what we were going to do next on the other like 5 years after that. And that was 5 years ago. And I have to say that everyone said, and everyone is like on the doing what we said that we were going to do. Like everyone said, first, we will finish the internship. Then we will go for look for a post degree, master's degree, and if we can, a PhD. Yes, of course. And there was the question of our manager, like she was like, oh, and what about getting married? And believe it or not, these were common questions because whenever you go on an internship, you know that something that you cannot do while you are working and being an intern is they recommend, of course, because it is not mandatory, but they recommend not to do too much social life, like to meet someone, and get involved and in love with someone. That was something that they recommend as like every single day. Our counselors in South Korea, when we had the training, was like, don't get, we know it, like it's going to be only 6 7 months, maybe eight till you get back home, but just don't fall in love with anyone because your the way on what you're going to be doing your job is going to change, and we want you guys to be fully commitment and concentrate in what you really have to do. And so of course it was going to be a question from our manager, right, if we were thinking about getting married or things like that, because I was about to graduate that year. In fact, I came back and I was writing my thesis while I was doing the intern, and I came back and I to my country and I graduated. So for all of the interns, because we were around 13 in the company, everyone said that on the next 5 7 years they were going to continue study, continue preparing themselves, achieve as many titles as they could. And look us now. We still have contact with all of the interns, and especially I have connections, good connections with 7 of them that were very, very close. And we actually even joked about, inviting ourselves like each other whenever everyone was going to get married, any of us, no matter if it was going to be in the States, because the other interns were Americans. I was Latin American, and the other ones were from China, and other ones were from Hong Kong. So we said, like, no matter who gets married first, let's invite each other so we can, see how our life was different or not according to the conversation that we are having now. And well, the manager also said, like, that's a great initiative. Yeah, you should, you know, friendship, crossing borders, and everything. And you wouldn't believe this, but it has been 6 years already with this year, like 5 years. And none of us got married yet. And you know what? All of us have master's degrees now. And of course, we did like several post degrees after that. That was our first one, in human resources. And the one we all did in the company. And besides that one, we all did at least 3 or 4 extra. And besides that, all of us are masters. And well, of course, we are looking forward, to look for our PhD now. And none of us got married. And well, two of our friends from the group got engaged. One a month ago, and the other one a week ago. So well, I have a wedding in the States and the other one in Hong Kong. for next year. And see, that's why I can confirm that yes, nowadays people are not looking forward, to just graduate and then have your bachelor's and then look for, a family. It's like everyone is looking and trying to be successful in life and to achieve as many goals as you may think of, because you could have plenty of goals, objectives in your life. But the most goals I have seen from these our 14 friends, it's like personal growth, professionally talking, living besides a little bit, you know, like family relationship or other kind of relationships. So, yep, that's what I have to say about this. So, don't you think that you are, behind or getting, laid back? No, you're fine. And this is not something that it's happening just around my circle of friends or maybe your own personal life. It's something that is going on across the world. And I think it doesn't matter of the culture you are from or the country you're from. It's just a general thinking. And especially after this situation that we're living now during the pandemic, nowadays, if you thought that you could maybe think or start planning about having a family in the future, now you have to think it twice, because that's another question also that we asked to the two people that got engaged. And we said, okay, so are you thinking, like, how about planning, like family planning? And they say, oh no, after this pandemic situation and everything, we just realized that if we couldn't, it was even hard for us to adapt to these kind of situations. Imagine how it could be different for a children. It could be unfair for you to bring someone to a world in which you don't know what is going to happen next and how this person is going to suffer. And like having your own family, it's the next step in which you are going to be emotionally, professionally, and everything around you. Like your own life is going to be your son or daughter, and you wouldn't like your children to suffer or to have this kind of difficulties, him or herself. So imagine. So I think it's not something just, you know, that we may think, okay, you are around your 29s and 30s, or maybe more than 30s. It's okay. It's the general thinking, I will say, across
Mhm.
crossing borders. Like everyone thinks the same way. So
I
yeah.
think I I've been I'm being left behind compared to Latin American standards, but not compared to European or Asian standards.
Okay. And well, not even, because if you think about it, yes. Well, yeah, maybe yes, because of the Latin American and, in general, thinking about, it is important. We have a strong family bonds, and for us, family is very important, right? It's our life, it's the center of our own life. So I think that yes, in some ways. But nowadays, if you see your own friends, like I still see friends from my age that at least graduate with me, and they're also, focusing first on their personal growth. But you're right, on the general side of Latin American thinking, it's like we are kind of like left behind. But this is changing, every year it's kind of like changing, and it's becoming a little bit more normal and common. So, yeah, but you're right. According to the general, too, if you see these statistics about all the population around your age and about their status, it is like that. So yeah, but when it comes, it comes. And you just, it's not that you have to wait for it, of course, but when it's the right time, it comes. So you go for it, for your your masters, your degrees. Go for it. Go
Sure.
outside the world, get to know the world, enjoy the world. And that's something that I also get from it. Like every time I'm looking for a new destination to go and to do something else, I get these comments, from my sisters, siblings, and my parents, like, okay, you go for it. All right, well, I'm thinking about, getting an apartment or just traveling and doing this. Go for it. You have already a house, so don't you worry about, you have already a car. Don't you worry about a car. Just go for it. You know, get to know the world and enjoy. And especially now, because you never know what can happen next.
That's right.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, yes, I know, right? It's like, oh, but nowadays, if you really, like sit and like start thinking about it and you sleep on it, like the entire situation, and you start thinking, right? Okay, so what happens, next? You work, you earn your income, your salary, and you get your own personal stuff, because that's another way of personal growth, on getting your own personal things, on covering your necessities. And then you start thinking, okay, like if I die, like my car is not going to go with me, my house or apartment is not going to go with me. So I think memories, right? And of course, I'm not saying like, okay, just spend your money on, whatever that brings you memories. No, but it's also about enjoying, and like take 5 minutes to think about what you are doing, and just, sometimes we are a little bit afraid to go for it, certain things. And I think this, what happens is kind of like an open eye situation in which it's telling us, no, okay, so don't leave things behind. If you can do it now, go for it, right? Why wait for it? Just go for it. But yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's my personal, no, way of understanding this. But yeah.
Don't worry. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like that. And it's also a way of reflection, making a reflection and a strong reflection on this, right? Who would have thought, no, in 2 years ago that we were going to be doing home office and just be in your house? Like right now, for example, people that are working home office, you start thinking and see you don't need clothes, new clothes, new bags, new purses, new shoes, new everything. You don't need it because, well, I have a car, but I cannot go anywhere, especially on the quarantine time. And so it's like, yeah, you start thinking about it a little bit deep on the situation. So for me, I think it was not good or bad. It was just a reflection time. And of course, it was bad for people who lost, like family members and stuff. Um, but yeah, it's like that.
Yes, I understand. I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
I think home office is a good idea even after the pandemic is over, because for people who work um, the whole day in a computer. Why would they waste 2 hours daily in traffic just to do what they can do at their own homes?
Exactly. Totally. Yeah. And I think bigger companies also understand this because although and despite the situation that we're living in, they like have analyzed about, you know, paying for spaces or offices and different kind of expenses that they used to make. And nowadays they don't have to, they don't need to because everyone is working from home. So I think we will get more this like home office kind of work on Latin America
Yeah,
because this was very common, abroad in Europe and the States, but not in Latin America. But nowadays, I think they will include it.
yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yes, that's it. And I think that also this kind of system works. No matter what kind of work you're doing, it works. It just depends on the person who is working. If this person is really committed to do his job the same way as he or she used to do it, and on face to face work, you will always do the same. So,
Sure, I think online language classes are a good thing,
mm,
especially for people who work.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, indeed. And especially because we can just easily adapt, not saying like, oh, here I have an income, like something came up and I can't have this class today. So let's reschedule. And you can because you're doing home office. So it's even easier because imagine in a face to face class, you will lose classes, right? If you have an inconvenient. But I think it's easier. I kind of like this way of working. But who knows? No one knows when we're going to go back to normal. But on the meanwhile, it is always good to learn, right?
Sure.
Different ways of working. That way you're prepared, you know, for for other works. I think everything is related to learn from yourself and development, of course. Okay, so let's please continue. If you let me talk, I will talk the entire hour. All
I
right, yeah, I'm a talker, like a lot. I really like it to talk. So, um, well, do you need any help to achieve that goal, like your short-term goal, your midterm and long?
yes, I need a lot of help, especially from my parents, and that lead us to question number 5. Yes,
Mm,
my parents support me financially, uh, because I need to get a loan to pay for my studies
Mm-hmm.
alone. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, especially if I'm planning to study abroad,
Mm-hmm.
and I will also need some help from um, future possible classmates and possibly from my teacher. I think everyone needs help at some point of their lives.
Yes, indeed. From anyone, right? A help, classmate, like a friend, classmate, parents, siblings.
Sure.
Okay, all right. And well, do you think it's important to set goals?
Mm, yes, I think it's very important because otherwise you'll never know what to do with your life. I think it's very important to set goals, especially if you're a teenager and teenage is like a transition between childhood and adult life. I know many teenagers who don't know what to do with their lives. And I also think um, a person I know, eh, she will graduate from university very soon, but she's reluctant to study English. And I'm very worried about her
Mm-hmm.
because nowadays English is not an advantage for finding a job. It's a must.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is a must.
And I think studying more languages is good too, but English is something basic.
It is. And it's not like you can lie nowadays. You know, years ago, people used to lie on their resumes. Oh, level of English. Oh, super advanced. And nowadays, like, you can't because in some companies, it's a must. Like, you must do your work in English. So, mhm.
That's right. And some company even have their candidates tested before hiring them.
Yep, totally. All right. Well, very good, David. We had a wonderful conversation, and well, we are going to continue on tomorrow. Okay. So,
Sure.
your homework is to basically start thinking about, what you're going to talk on your essay because you will be writing a formal essay. So, you have to think about a topic sentence. All right. That will be it. Only the topic sentence of your first paragraph, not write, just your topic sentence, not the paragraph. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Let's please work on
Uh,
the survey
about what?
about
Uh,
anything that you would like to write about in your
sure.
essay.
I'm going to write about scouting.
Oh, well, that's very interesting, especially because you have a lot of knowledge on that. So
Yeah,
I
and
will
I
be,
have to prepare a speech in Japanese about scouting too.
oh,
So
really?
I'm I'm trying to kill two birds with the same stone.
Oh, well, that's amazing because you will also have to prepare a speech for the last class, but I will tell you later that. Well, that's amazing. Then you won't have to, work hard or make double effort.
Sure.
All right, let's please answer the survey. And well, we are going to continue on tomorrow's class.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you very much, David, and see you tomorrow.
Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Have a great night. Goodbye.